What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Today I have a very special guest, one of the Arch Boys, Mr. Jarrad Cleofe in the house. Your favorite producer's favorite producer. But what's going on, man?
Maybe not. Nothing much, bro. Nothing much, dude. Staying up.
I feel it. For those unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do a few intro questions, and then we get into the main questions where you get to choose a number between 1 and 34, and we end it with a few concluding questions. Sound good to you, Jarrad?
Yep.
Cool. Well, my first question for you, man, is how have you been? It's been a while since we've caught up. You've been doing well, been going through it. How you been, man?
It's been good. I mean, we're in a pandemic. It's sort of a weird time, but I think overall I've been good. Looking back over the past year, just being home a lot, I'd say that my good times have outweighed my bad times. So overall, I could say chilling.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah.
You back in the office yet, or you still?
No, we're not. And it's sort of a weird. Yeah, it's sort of. I think most jobs, at least like white collar. I'm not sure for all white collar, just jobs in general. Like at least firm jobs is like what do I do? It's a weird transition right now because I know the firm is saying, yeah, you can come back to the office, but they haven't said to anyone like, oh, you need to come back to the office by this date. So it's just everything's kind of like optional at the moment. So it's a weird in between, I think. So
I got you.
Yeah.
You've been enjoying working from home? Because I know some people it's getting tiring for them just because it feels like they're not away from work, It's like,
yeah,
I'm here at home.
I'm kind of like, it's good and it's bad. Like if I could have it my way back in the day or when I was working, when it was before pandemic, I wanted to work from home. I would say like 60-40, like work in the field or me going out to clients like 60% and then 40% working from home. Like that would be my ideal. Cause like, I'm not gonna lie, like the commute sucked when I really didn't like the commute a lot with my job because like it was never consistent. I'm going all over the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it would just be really nice if I could just work from home. Like I'm just wrapping up stuff. I don't need to be in front of the client. And now it's like, great. But now this is the only thing I do. And it's like, I wish you could go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, and then, yeah, like all my clothes that I've purchased, like all this stuff I bought, like, to go out, like to dress up, like all that stuff is just like, I've just been wearing like track pants and button ups basically. Cause like business up top, like chilling down. No, seriously. Like I just have a ton of button ups and track pants I wear every day. Cause it's like, you want to be comfortable, but like when I have conversations with clients or like to talk to my bosses, like I don't want to be in a t-shirt or a hoodie. Like I have to be in a somewhat of a dress shirt. So yeah, it's a weird time. My closet's looking real weird right now, man.
Business cash, man. Business cash.
It is super business casual, like literally business casual, dude.
What's it called? Well, for sure, man. Just want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you for your time and, just being open to sharing your story. We're about to jump into this icebreaker before we jump into some more questions. And I don't know if you know, it's a one-word spelling bee. Feel free to pass if you don't feel like, being put on spot. But if you're down, we could go for it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, man. Well, your word is epilepsy.
Epilepsy. I'm going to try it. So I think there's 2 L's in there. E.
You sure?
Are you supposed to help?
I can't help it, man. Man. Like people call, I'm just like,
So there's 1 L. Okay,
go
I
for
think
it.
it's E. Okay, epilepsy. EPIL. IPSE, epilepsy.
You got one more chance, man. One more chance. You had the first 4 letters right. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so it's epilepsy. EPILEPSE.
Ooh, I'm sorry, man.
There's two S's.
It ends with a Y instead of an E. You had a.
Oh yeah. No, that makes sense.
Man.
That makes sense. I can picture it now in my head. Damn.
But yeah, hey man, thanks for participating. That was fun.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
For sure. All right,
I am not smarter than a 6th grader.
Nah, I don't know if a 6th grader would get that, but you know,
Shit.
no pressure. A lot of people have gotten, like, I would say more people got the word wrong, or like the words that I've been using wrong than right. So, you know, it's all for fun. It's nothing serious.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
So jumping into some more warm-up questions. The first one in this category is, what would you like the audience to know about you? Like,
I guess, like, I don't know. I'm a very unique person.
for sure.
I was trying to tie in to my music somehow, but I was just like, yeah. Anyways, I was just like, yeah, I'm just a unique person, I guess. I like, one, my day job is an accountant. Two, I like music a lot, so much that I'm pursuing it, and I play a lot of video games. I mean, yeah, I think that offers me a unique perspective, and that equates to me being a unique person. Thank you.
Renaissance man.
Thank you. Yeah, Renaissance. A very Renaissance man. Thank you. That's the second time I heard someone say that. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, man. That's a dope title, man. Renaissance man. It's like, you know, you have many different interests, and you know, it's better. I don't know. I mean, no offense to anybody who feels like they're one dimensional, but it's always good to like have different things that, you know, you're into.
Oh, totally. I think Renaissance, like, if you think of the Renaissance itself, the Renaissance actually happened after Renaissance. This is like back in like the 1700s, 1600s.
Yeah,
this was like subsequent to the Black Plague, you know. So a lot of people had passed away. It was like a really dark time, and then the Renaissance happened. It's a rebuild. People are out there just like going ham on creativity. It's like you could consider, like, you know, our generation now a new Renaissance. You know, that's why you have a lot of people, you know, sort of doing a lot of things at once. You know, like, one thing I've been doing a lot is like following a lot of Twitch streamers. Like, that's my new TV for me personally. And it's cool because, like, you know, you have a lot of people, like, for example, I play World of Warcraft. I've been playing a lot of WoW during the pandemic, and a few streamers I watch, like, they do a ton of stuff aside from just playing the game WoW. They also do cooking, or they also do like, have you heard of Grand Theft Auto GTA RP?
What's RP?
Like role playing. Well, they will literally role play. Yeah. So, for example, this one guy I follow, S-Fan, he role plays as a police officer for the San Andreas police in the game. It is absolutely hysterical, dude. Like, they actually voted for him to be sheriff for the town. Like, there's a whole, like, it's a whole thing, and it's like comic, dude. It's actual comedy.
So it's like they're creating that virtual, like, I guess, career lifestyle within the game. Oh wow.
Exactly. Yeah. And on top of that, he plays WoW. He also does like cooking streams, and it's just like, yeah, man, this is crazy. Like, he's like doing so many things at once. It's like, it's really fascinating. It's like really inspiring too. So anyways, just stuff like that. Just on the topic of Renaissance. Sorry to go on a tangent.
Oh, dude, go on all the tangents you want. You know, I think it's great. But yeah, it just made me think. So Twitch, for you, did you have to do, I looked into streaming on Twitch, and I felt like it said that you had to like do a certain amount of hours playing video games first. Did you have to do that, or? I
mean, I kind of just, so I don't really, I tried doing video games, but to be honest, I wouldn't say I'm good at video games. Like, I think the only reason someone would want to watch me is because it's just me in my downtime. So what I do stream is like, I try to stream, I'm not very consistent either, but I do stream like me making music, for example, because that's my real, like, I feel like that's more interesting for me personally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that. Because like I mentioned, like, I'm not like a top level gamer by any chance, by any means of the definition. So I feel it's like kind of pointless to watch me play video games. You feel me? Like, yeah. Otherwise, my music, let's just like, you know, my music is, you know, I have a lot more experience with it, not experience, but then a lot more hours into it. So you can hear the hours as opposed to me playing video games, and I just picked up video games like maybe this past year, and I'm like, I'm not that great, as opposed to my music, where it's like I've been spending how many years now like refining it. So I feel like it's more of a, it's easier to get into, I feel like. So but yeah, I haven't had any restrictions really. It's just more of just being consistent. I could stream right now, just making music. There isn't any restrictions or anything like that, if that's what you're asking. But
yeah, okay, then maybe I came across the wrong information, because I was under the impression that I had to like.
They're just holding you back, Jan. They're just holding you back. Whoever wrote that, just holding you back, man.
Damn it! All right. Well, that's good to know. Now I'm really gonna do my research and try to get my shit on there.
Oh yeah.
But for sure. Second question for you in the warm up is: if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored? If I was gonna say today I'm gonna do something in honor of Jarrad, what would you like me to do, man?
Play some dance music. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Hey, it could be
play some
like
loud
that.
and fast dance music, bro. Yeah. Maybe have a beer. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds dope. That'd be my ideal day.
I'll cheers it to you, man. I'll cheers it to you.
Thank you.
And my third question for you is: on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay, yes. There we go, folks. But on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
I'd say an 8. I'd say an 8, maybe 8.5. I feel like getting to know yourself is a long process. Just from what I've known from myself, I feel like there's times where I'll wake up or do something, or like, for example, like because I work from home, my sleep schedule is like kind of all over the place. And then sometimes I'll trick myself into thinking like, okay, well, if it's like, if I just stay up late and I wake up early, I can make up for the time lost for so-and-so, this project or whatever. I'll just like pound a lot of yerba mates or something like that, and I'll be fine. And it's like, it never works out. And then sometimes I'll just like, what if I just sleep in, even though I'll have to work a little bit later, like that actually ends up working out. And like as many times that happens, like I keep forgetting that, and I always think like, man, like I'm like 32 now and I still don't know this about myself. So there's times where I'm just like, bro, like why are you punishing yourself? Like the end result, and it never works out every time. So I feel like there's still a lot to learn. You know what I mean? Like I feel like 32 is like, to me, I think, 32 is like I should know everything by now. But in reality, it's like, no, I'm still getting into myself. I mean, probably different for other people, but I mean, that's why I feel sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, damn, why did I stay up late? So I should have known.
Yeah, man. It's funny you mentioned that scenario, or like the scenario for yourself, because I'm struggling with that right now, man. I work a graveyard shift, which is from midnight to 9 a.m. Oh man, it's been pretty brutal, and like
it's, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. My cousin Randy does that too, or he did that. I think he's on a normal schedule, but it's like, because he always talks to like, sometimes I'll talk to him during the day, like he'll be like, right now he'd just be, in theory, I think he's not that scheduled right now, or off that schedule, but he would just be, he'd be like, either one right now, if there's a midnight schedule, he'll be still asleep, or he'll be awake, and he was like, I'm gonna take a nap before work. And it's like the fact that you have to take a nap before work is like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that sucks, you know what I mean? Like, because you'd never be 100%, you know what I mean? Like the fact, because you have to like basically give yourself a crutch before you go into your normal work hours. And it's just like, that's tough, dude. I can only imagine. I would be so cranky all the time, man. I'd be so cranky. Oh my God, I can only imagine. Oh.
Yeah. It's making me reevaluate my decisions.
That'll do it. That'll
I'll
happen.
say that. So we'll see where it goes, but for sure. All right, man. Well, we're moving into the main portion of the interview.
Sure.
Where you get to choose a number between 1 and 34. I will tell you, there's 3 levels: A, B, and C. A being the hardest, where I feel like they're all subjective as far as like what I think would be hard for people to answer. A, B, and C, hard, medium, and easy. And so you could just be like A24, B12, whichever questions you want to choose. So choose your first number.
7. Oh, I have to say a letter for it, right?
Yeah.
B7.
B7. All right, man. Well, if your life stages were broken into books, what would they be called? Well, first off, maybe you should start with like how many books, but if you just want one book, that's cool too.
Well, let's keep it simple. I think it would just be a book. Life stages. I don't know how many chapters. I think decades is a good. I think decades is a good chapter. So, what? 3 chapters.
Hey.
Yeah.
What would you title those chapters?
Baby.
Firstborn.
Firstborn. I don't know. That's a good question. How can I sum up my early childhood? I don't know.
Take your time, man.
Happiness. Wandering for 20s, and 30s is what's the vibe? What's the vibe in these last 3 years? Hunger. Yeah. I don't know.
That's cool.
Something to do with like, yeah. I don't think hunger is the best word, but it's just like driving hunger. No, that sounds like I'm hungry. I don't know. I don't know.
No, man. But so you said happy, wandering, and drive or hunger.
That's another word for. We have computers for this, dude.
Yeah.
Hunger synonym. Lack of food.
Of course, so literal.
There's actually too much food.
Hey, that would be kind of like a cool chapter name, though. Too much food.
Too much food. Sheesh. Veracity.
Damn.
Veracity? Does that sound cool? I don't know.
That sounds cool. That's a college word right there.
Yeah, that is, dude. That is. Excessive desire to eat. Oh my god. Yeah, do you know what? Let's go with veracity. It sounds cool. Sure.
Veracity sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had to look back, and so the reason why I named those, because I think if I had to look back at when I was a kid, like I had a great time. Like I think, that thing where, what's that saying? Ignorance is bliss. You don't really know anything, so you're just always happy all the time, right? Don't have any things to worry about or think about. You're just like kind of just a kid, and you just like your parents like, oh, it's your birthday, we're going to Rocking Bullwinkles, which is a thing back in the day, like the Chuck E. Cheese equivalent. And it's just like, okay, cool, like you don't have to do any planning, you just get up in the morning, they dress you just take you wherever. It's great. You don't have to worry about driving anywhere. Looking back, I was like, man, it's great to be a kid, shit to worry about. And then my 20s is more of I think there's 4 actually, right? So 1 to 10, and then 10 to 20, 20 to 30. No, that's right. So, no, 4? I don't know.
It's 4. It's 4. I think you said baby for like your early years, and then
yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's the baby, yeah. And then, okay, yeah, and then. Anyway, so the 20s was, I was just like, I was wandering a lot. I don't know, like I was growing up in Roseville at the time. I met friends that were from the Bay Area. I remember, which are still my close group of friends. And I was just like really intrigued by them. Like, and also like one of the friends that they had, it was a girl that I was really interested in pursuing. I guess the best way to say it. So I was like basically chasing after her. That's what led me to the Bay Area initially, and it was good times, honestly. Like I look back at it, like I was kind of just young and dumb. I was just like, the only thing I cared about was like cars and girls. Like I didn't really care too much about school. It was great, dude. I lived with my aunts. Like I just like would hang out with people with just drove cars. Like I remember going to the junkyards on the weekends and looking for parts to sell, because I actually made decent money off of that. Like I had a great time in my 20s. Like I guess I wasn't really upfront or really upfront about my school. 'Cause I didn't really care too much. I was just like, you know, whatever, like I'll vibe. And then, yeah, it wasn't until like I went to San Jose, you know, I sort of went to that relationship had outlasted itself, and I started meeting other people. I was just like, well, I guess I want to be an accountant. This seems interesting. And then, you know, I went to San Francisco State, and you meet people. And it's one of those things, like I remember always hearing about people say, like, you know, it's like the reason why big cities are more appealing to young people is just because it's like, you know, like how do you get better at playing tennis? You get better at playing people that are worse with you, or worse than you, or play against people that are better than you, right? So it's like you get better by playing with someone that's better than you. And where's a more concentrated group of people than a big city, right? So I always took that advice to heart, and it really, you know, you go to state. I went to state, then you go downtown. I used to have like internships there, and the people you meet, you're just like, wow, these people are like really smart. Like I want to hang out around these people, you know. And it kind of just rubs off on you after a while. And I think that's what I was chasing after a while in my 20s, and then. Yeah, and then now in my 30s, it's just like, this is great. Like, I remember before, the only thing I wanted was just a freaking job. That's all I wanted. I remember even meeting Dan for the first time, and we were just basically still in school. I barely just had like an internship, and only thinking like, man, like the only thing I freaking want right now, like only thing I care about, I remember thinking this, that I remember talking to him about it. We were like sitting outside of Tawny's kitchen in Daly City. I remember this vividly. It's like, man, the only thing I want is a freaking job, dude. Like, I need money, dude. Yeah, it was great. And now it's like, I'm chilling. Like, I have a job. Like, it's great. And I'm very fortunate that my company or my firm is like just really down with me. Like, yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like I was just loyal with them, like loyal to the firm, and they've treated me really well. So it's been great. Like, even during my time where I thought I was going to leave the firm because I was going to pursue DJing or like music like seriously, and then the pandemic happened, and I was just like, hey, DJs aren't making a lot of money right now. Can I come back? And they're just like, yeah, sure, come. We'll love to have you. I was like, great, sure, let's run it back. Shit. So yeah, that's where it's landed. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I think overall, I'd say it'd be a happy book. The tone of the book would be happy, I'd say.
Hey, it's not being done written. I'm sure you got a lot more stories or a lot more chapters to write for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. Shit.
Would you have ever thought you would have became an accountant growing up?
No, not at all.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
Excuse me. I remember my childhood thing was like I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Word.
Yeah, it was like super random. I think it's because of like Indiana Jones, and like I was like really into dinosaurs when I was young, and then yeah, I don't know, just kind of like that's what I wanted. And then, you know, in my 20s, like I didn't know what I wanted. That's why I was like that's why I mentioned wandering. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I wanted. I was just a kid who just cared about cars and girls. Literally.
Yeah, man. I mean, you already know. I was wandering so much in my 20s. I made a song about it. So.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that might be universal, you know, and like.
Oh, totally, dude.
Yeah, we all trying to find what it is in our 20s, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, man, I just turned 31, and it's I can feel. I don't know what I feel. I don't want to call it pressure, but maybe focus. You know, maybe like, you know, those hard lines kind of like forming in my head, and now I kind of know what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's what your 30s are now, right? It's like, I think focus is a better word, you're right, than like, what was that, veracity? Focus, yeah, totally, right? Because you're kind of clocked in. You don't have the frills of being 20 anymore. Like, I'm not sure about you, but you're like I don't think I'm going to any house parties anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that kind of that phase is over. Maybe, I don't know, but like, you know, it's not in your mind as much as it is or it used to be, I guess. You sort of in your 30s, you're like kind of getting into yourself, and you're like, damn, man, like, how are we gonna make this work? You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, you know, I like when there's invites to go to house parties, I find myself just kind of being like, oh no, sorry, I can't make it, or you know, there's like not that as much interest as it was before.
Because of the COVID thing, right? I mean, I'm joking.
that too.
That's a factor.
But yeah, like, you know, it's not that I have anything against those people. It's just more so like now it's not what I'm interested in. And you know, those people happen to be younger than me as well. So just different stages in life kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, man. Thank you for that. That was a super quality answer. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and throw me another number.
A17.
A17. Okay, now that I read this question, it might be a little easier than I thought. But oh wait, actually, did I go backwards? Oh, I did go backwards.
Answer this in Cambodian.
In Cambodian. This one is what is your love language? You familiar with those?
Love language? I'd say like I would say I could be a very touchy person, I think. Like, so when, like, if I'm really vibing with someone, not like, you know, not just like the love interest, like platonically, it would be like, oh, like a pat on the back, or just like, you know, like kind of like, I don't know, that kind of the thing that's just built into me. Like my dad's like the original troll to me, I swear. Like when I was a kid, I was always kind of like a little pansy about things, especially like my loose teeth. My dad would always like, I remember the first time my dad's like, oh, you have a loose tooth? Where? I was like, oh, this one. He's like, which one? That one? He's like, yeah. And you just pull it out.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell, Dad? He's like, well, you're gonna have to like be squirming, so I just wanted to pull it out for you. I was just like, oh my God. And yeah, it's like always, but it's not, I wouldn't view it in the light that was mean. It was just more of like a, hey, he's just like, you needed this, you just didn't realize it yet. You know what I mean? So, and I think that kind of quality goes through my affirmation of love to platonic friends. I guess that's, how do I describe that? Like, yeah, like I'm kind of just like handsy. Like I kind of just like, well, it's like pat them or something. Like I generally, I'm a very touchy person. That's the way I would describe that. Yeah.
So you like appreciate pats on the back as well? Like,
yeah, stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. What's it called? Is this something that you had realized early, or was it something that you kind of, I guess, as you got older, you're like, actually, yeah, I do enjoy those things?
Yeah, well, I'd say, you know, as you hang out with people, you realize, or it's like, you know, you hang out with people, and some people are always on different wavelengths than you. Not always, but then like, you know, right? So someone will mention it to me, like, oh, hey, like, oh, you're pretty handsy, and I was like, oh, I guess I am. I don't know, I never noticed that. You know, stuff like that. You know, and there you go, and that's how you learn. Like, how do you, like, I remember, what's another good example? Like, do you remember the first time someone ever called you sir? Like, for example, like, right? Yeah, like, yeah. It's like, that's, am I old now, technically? Like, right? So I remember vividly, it was at a freaking Target. I was wearing these Nike Freezes. I was like, what, 23, 24 or something at the time?
Yeah.
And this kid came up to me, hi, sir, where'd you get those shoes? And I was like,
wow.
I remember thinking, sir, like that instantly I looked around, I was like, oh, me? Like, I was like, me? Shit. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, it's just, you don't really notice things until someone points it out for you, right? So I think it's one of those, the whole handsy thing or whatever, I didn't really notice until someone pointed out to me. But yeah, it's one of those things you never forget, because especially when people point it out like that, it's like this most unbiased form, right? So they don't mean it in any harm or anything. They're just telling you completely unbiased, right? So that's like usually what hits the heart. Exactly. It's different.
I actually remembered a question that I had forgotten earlier, but you had talked about being into cars. So backtracking a little bit, but how did that come into your life?
Well, my dad is a mechanic. So I worked on cars a lot with him when I was younger. Like even when I was a kid and like I couldn't do like actually work on cars, I would just sit. Like sometimes my dad would just give me a random like electronic box and just like sit me in the corner. I would just pretend like I knew what I was like trying to figure out, or stuff like random things like that. And it's like I've always been fascinated by them. And then yeah, I remember my aunt gave me. So I was fortunate that my aunts are all nurses, so they're all pretty well off, and I've only had cars handed down to me. And one of my aunts in particular, Tita Amy, she was always into nice cars, and she gave me her red convertible 240SX when I was like 16 on the dot. She's like, "Oh, you can have it." It's like I'm planning on getting a new car anyways. So that was like my birthday gift, I remember. And after that, I was just like I remember I would just look up like car, like I would go on car forums. I was just like, oh, what small mods I can do, because I have no money. So I would just look up how to like refresh your headlight shrouds by just sanding them and painting them. It's like doing like really stupid minuscule stuff that just made me feel like I was doing something to my car, making it unique. Unique, another buzzword. Unique. Yeah, that's what's kind of just set it off. Like I think that was like one of my first really, I won't say passions, but like kind of a big hobby of mine. And I've had like just I don't know, I always had really random hobbies I just really like letting myself dive into. Like I remember I was into like, you know, building Gundam models, and that turned into building like battleship models. And then yeah, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, it's just something. I think cars was like a whole different ball game, because it wasn't like a hobby where I would last a year or whatever. But I remember for this one, it was like lasted me up until like I was in my early 20s. Like I was like obsessed about like lowering car, or like modifying cars. I mean, and that whole junkyard thing I mentioned. Like I was so into like finding these, because around this time when I just moved to Bay Area, it was out in 2008, and I remember vividly that Obama had passed a law called something to do with cash for clunkers, which basically if you if you turn in your car, you get a certain amount of tax credit. So a ton of people were just giving or turning their cars in to the junkyards, and a lot of these cars that had like really good parts on them. So I actually made a lot of money just like going to junkyards and like finding like these wood grain steering wheels from old Porsches that people had turned in. It was crazy. Like it was so wild back then. Like looking back, I was just like, man, it was fun too, because you just like go to the junkyard in the morning. I remember, and I would be there for the day, just like pulling through things. I'd come back home, like my aunt's house, like put it in the side yard. She was just like, put it in the garage. We have no more space in there, so I have to put in the side, all the stuff in the side yard. Yeah, I would just come home dirty. Like it was great. And like I remember just like taking pictures of it, putting it up on Craigslist. Like yeah, those were real good times, man. Such good times.
That's what's up. You have a dream car nowadays, or
it's funny because the more sorry to cut you off there, but
you good.
The more like the older I get, the less I care about cars. Like now it's like I still have my old beat up Camry, and I refuse to get rid of it until it completely dies, even though it's literally died on me the freeway like several times already. It's left me straight up stranded, but you know what? It happens. You just fix it and move on. But yeah, now I wouldn't say so. I mean, yeah, like whatever. I don't really have one. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. If it's a nice car, I'll do say though. Valeria and I, we took a trip down to Grand Canyon last year, and we drove in a big ass SUV, like a Ford Expedition, the Max, big boy car. That thing was so nice, dude. Like, that was so nice. Like, it's funny because I don't think my dream car is a car. I think it's an SUV. And I was like, man, I would love to just drive in that all day. Like, you can't really have that here in the city because obviously you're kind of strapped for space. But if I could have my way, I'd have like a big ass car. It's just so nice. Just like, I don't know, you just feel like you're invincible in them. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of see over other cars. It's just like, man, this is what it's like.
I like the space, man.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
I drive a Fit, and it's been a Fit for 5 years. Now that I get into another car, I'm just like, oh shit! Like I got all this.
You can breathe. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like it's like when you're younger, just your perspective just like literally just like goes from small to like bigger and bigger as you get older. Like literally, your perspective just literally gets bigger with you getting older. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a correlation, but yeah.
Could be. I'm about to throw you a curveball right now. straying away from the numbers, I actually have it's a fill in the blank. So you just choose a number between 1 and 7.
6.
I'm too young to blank.
To go to a chiropractor.
You've never been to one?
No, not yet. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. I don't know why.
I got you. I mean,
it's like, should I?
Honestly, I haven't either, but I've always heard like great reviews about going to chiropractor. Like, oh, your body's gonna be like different, or they're gonna find those spots that just, you know, I guess quality of life, you know, it's a improvement. Yeah. But yeah. Well, that's good, man. I'm gonna knock on wood for you if you never had to go. You know.
You had to go to the chiropractor, bro. Jinxed it. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you've been to like massage places though, right? Like the legit ones.
Whoa, Jan. Whoa, dude. I thought this wasn't that kind of podcast, dude. No, I have actually, yes. In Roseville, because my mom, that's my Mother's Day. Oh, speaking of Mother's Day, I need to get that for her. But for her birthdays, I would usually get her massage coupons, because there's a place she likes in Roseville or one of those two, one of those cities. And sometimes she's like, "Oh, you want to just get one with us?" And it was great. Like, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah,
man. I mean, I think I usually fall asleep during my massages too. Just like,
that's good. It's working then.
Like, I feel bad for the guy though, like, cause you know they're like hella going into it, and I feel like they get hella tired. You know, I have to tip them pretty well for that. Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Let's throw me another number.
2.
Letter A.
Sure. Oh, leading.
Right. Here's but this one is what is something you're insecure about?
I would say I'm really fidgety sometimes, and I think people can catch that. Sometimes I stutter. It depends. And I think for me, I think the main driver of that is because I think my brain's just like going in like 20 different directions sometimes. So when I can be thinking about something, like right now, for example, like I'm sorry to say this, but I'm also watching things on the side too. I don't know, I'm just kind of like, I like doing a lot of things at once for me. I always have this fixation on killing 2 birds with 1 stone, like constantly, like just always doing, if I can knock things out at the same time, like I'll do it. Like that sounds great. I think as a result of that can lead me, you know, there's repercussions for that. And I think it comes out for me being fidgety sometimes, or at times. And sometimes that can manifest into me just like kind of being stuttering, or I'm like kind of like not always so still in my chair, or like I can kind of just like, I don't know, I feel like that can manifest itself in different ways. But I think, that'd be one for sure.
You have like a go-to fidget move? Like, you know, people use fidget spinners, sometimes they play with the pen, or for me, I shake my leg. Like I'm always like,
I mean, that's where it usually comes out of. It's maybe like basically shaking my leg, or that's kind of it, really.
For sure. You mind me asking what you're watching right now?
I'm watching another stream. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Damn, that's a pretty good computer, streaming and watching a stream at the same time.
I can be making a beat right now too, on top of all this. It's crazy. Goodness. Yeah, I made sure to like, because one of the specs I remember looking up, I was just like, I want to be able to, if I wanted to stream, game, and make a song at the same time, could I? And I found, I put together this computer basically.
Dude.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask you for your spec list, because that sounds.
No, dude, no, I can't.
Hold it close to the vest.
No.
Can't give away all the secrets, right?
Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah.
No. I mean, because for me, I want to game, and I want to stream and video edit. So those are like the 3 things. And I think similarly, what I've seen or heard is that like gaming and video editing is kind of like, you know, you're gonna do the same thing, or you're gonna need the same kind of parts for it. But conversation for another time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Throw me another number.
B5.
5. What's the best memory you've had with either friends or family?
I think this is the first thing that comes up the top of my head is just like going to what's it called? Not Gymboree, but it's like I remember when I was a kid, like that. So for example, like that sort of that time between you. So for example, it's your birthday. You're supposed to go to like one of those Gymboree type things when you're a kid, and then like. It's off Blossom Hill Road. I can't remember the place. It doesn't sound as I remember as a kid. But my favorite time is always just like that that few hours before everyone's about to go leave to go and meet up there at the place. Everyone's gonna go play. Like, you're getting ready. Like you're having a quick lunch. Like you have your family with you. It's just like you're about to drive over there. Like that pre-time, like the anticipated time before you're about to go meet with everyone. I don't know, but for me that always just makes me super happy. Like sometimes I kind of just draw upon those instances when I'm trying to come up with the chords for a song sometimes, because it's always those real this preface times. That's a good way to describe it. So for example, you're about to go to a music festival with friends, you're all like gathered up in the hotel and everyone's like kind of like pre-gaming or whatever, and it's like that pre-time before you go to the actual good times, you know what I mean? Because everyone's literally like so happy, like everyone's like just super chummy, like extra chummy because you're about to go have even more fun somewhere else. That pre-time is always like really fun. I don't know what it is about that time, but yeah.
No, for sure. Would you say there's any kind of like unique traditions that your family has, or maybe even friends that when you do have a gathering that it's just like kind of different from any other gathering?
I think the unique tradition in my family is that we don't really have a tradition. We kind of just meet up and it's just like, oh hey, like there's some times where just like I'll go to something, and I'll think back like a month later. I was like, or for example, like because or Thanksgiving is in November, then you have Christmas right the next month. And sometimes I remember there's been a few years where it's like I think it's like January or February, like someone will mention something. It's like, oh yeah, I saw my aunt at the last family gathering. I'm like, is that Thanksgiving or Christmas? Like, you know what I mean? Because like sometimes I realize, do we even say anything about like, oh, Merry Christmas? We kind of just all meet up, kind of just talk, eat, like just catch up, and then everyone kind of just goes their own ways back to what they were doing, and it's like, it's funny.
You guys still meet up probably the same amount of times as you were a kid, or has it like kind of slowed down? I know for me it has,
I'd say we still meet up, but obviously last year was not a typical year. But prior to that, I think we're pretty consistent. And actually it was my cousin's birthday last month. So we, it was your birthday last month, wasn't it? It was on Monday.
This past
Monday.
Hey.
Yeah. Happy belated, bro.
Thank you, man. 31.
Yeah, I remember. He was like, you're April. I was like, wait, you're April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, for hers, we all met up and we had dinner at Q-Pot in San Jose. It was great.
Me and my girl go to Q-Pot like once a month. Like,
that place is a banger, dude. It's a banger, bro. The only thing I don't like is that you can't get your own sauce now, which is kind of lame. It's
yeah.
Because sometimes when they say we'll make you your sauce, it's like, well, you ain't me, so you can't. You know what I mean? Come on, bro.
I think the server we had just like, my girl was like, oh, can I get this kind of sauce? And he just brought out all separate ones just to be like, oh, you make it yourself,
Mine, I guess where this fool put like licorice in there. I don't know. It was like hella sweet. I was like, I ain't eating this, man. Come on, dude.
And I'm hella basic. I like the sesame sauce and sesame
that's
oil.
all I want too. And just honestly, just like I want half sesame sauce, sesame oil, and the rest is a ton of garlic. Just hella garlic, dude. I want that shit to burn, dude.
You find any new fire spots, like fire restaurants or anything?
Excuse me, sorry. No, not really, to be honest. I mean, we've just been getting takeout a lot. I mean, Tasty Pot is a big one for me. Oh no, I actually do have a good spot. So last few times I've been to San Jose, one to get my vaccine shot, and I got my second one last Saturday. But Valeria and I have been going to this plaza in Cupertino. It's like the most random.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry. Something happened to the sound in my headphones. I think it's my headphones. Go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. The bombest Chinese food I've ever had. Like it's equivalent to the Chinese food I've had in actual China. But yeah, this plaza has TPT, which is one of the best boba spots that I like, which is Taiwanese professional tea. They have this place called QQ Noodle, which is the best like handmade noodles, like legit. And then another place called Joy Dumpling, which is like also really bomb dumplings. It's all this, literally these three bangers in this one random plaza in Cupertino. Like it's crazy. Like our favorite thing we've been doing lately is like, so we'll get to the plaza, I'll split off, I'll get the milk tea, and then Valeria will go order like the dumplings and the noodles, and then we'll just sit in the car and eat it. It's the best, dude. Such it just hits every time, dude. Every time.
I'm gonna have to borrow that date idea for sure.
No, oh yeah, shit's also basically a date. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
Cupertino. All right.
Yeah, Cupertino slaps, man. They got a lot of bangers there. There's an H Mart there too. Oh my god, yeah, Cupertino, dude. Bang.
For sure, man. I'm kind of curious. This is kind of like, not part of the interview, but are you planning to stay in the city, or you like open to the Bay Area?
My heart wants to stay in the city, but realistically, I think once we start having kids, which is like maybe in like 2 or 3 years, like it won't be realistic to have it in San Francisco or have the baby. I wouldn't say it. Yeah. Have the baby in San Francisco, just because like not have a baby, but like to raise a kid, just because the school system isn't that great in San Francisco, frankly, and the best schools are private, and I don't think private's just the way that we're gonna go. I mean, I don't make enough money to send my kid to private school, so it's like, what do you have to do? Well, to find a place that has better public system, right? So I think basically anywhere else but San Francisco has probably a better public system. So yeah, that's where the thought is right now, but I haven't really thought about it outside of that. But yeah, I mean, my heart would love to stay in San Francisco for like, I love this place. It's sick as an artist, but if you want to raise a family, I think it's a different story. So
yeah. No, I feel you, man. Like I always think about going to a place a little more quiet. But we'll see. I'm not ready for that transition, but yeah, it's on my mind. I'm trying to always think like, where would I want to end up, or even like a different state or something, or country.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh
yeah.
Dude, you make a killing in Philippines, man. I can't wait to go back to the Philippines, to be completely honest with you. Like, I'm looking so forward to it. Just like, especially now that I'm actually DJ and stuff, like I've played at places, so I don't have a lot of clout, but I have a little. I feel like I have just enough clout to play at clubs there if I wanted to, which is great, because Filipinos love nothing more than Filipino Americans, right? It's like, yo, that's sick, dude. Like, come through, like.
We love you. Come home. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like, yeah. I feel like, yeah. I'm so hyped for whenever I do go back there. So.
When's the last time you've been?
Years. I haven't been in a long ass time. Not since I was like an adult, basically. I was like, last time I was there was like when I was a kid. So
yeah. And I always went with family. I can't wait till I go back.
Yeah,
just by myself.
It's never the same if you go with family. Granted, family's great, but it's just never the same if you go with family.
Yeah, you always obligated to do what they want to do.
Yeah, it's just different. It doesn't hit the same. And scratch the same itch.
Exactly. Just a heads up, man, we have about 10 minutes left in the podcast. Just wanted to thank you again. It was great catching up, and
totally, man.
So throw me one last number.
Yeah, A1 steak sauce.
A1. All right, this one's I don't know. I think some people pass on this sometimes because they don't want to get into it too much. But what is something you would like to apologize for?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have anything.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can say you could be sorry for small things that have happened in your life to people, but I feel like, if you can't even remember it, not remember it, but like, it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's just like, sometimes things just don't work out. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't take it personal. I mean, if people take it personal, I think that's a deeper discussion, but
yeah.
I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. And sometimes just paths cross or don't cross. And is that your fault? No. Is that the other person's fault? No. So what's to say sorry for? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely feel you. That's why this question is kind of like, it's really, I guess, it's a perspective kind of question,
Oh yeah, true.
All right, man. Well, we made it to the concluding portion, but before we get there, got one more curveball for you. It's a shout out question. So like it's hard sometimes because people don't want to leave anyone out, but just do your best. A number between 1 and 7.
8, 7.
All right, man. This one is: who is a stranger or passerby in your life that left the best impression? So this is kind of like a one-off like experience where someone kind of like did something that you're like, oh shit, thanks, or just the best impression.
I wouldn't say stranger. I mean, I know him still, but for some reason I just thought of Kadeem, my friend Kadeem Lamar, also a freaking great artist. He's also a producer too. That's how I met him. But when I had gone to New York last year, he was great, dude. The homie, super homie. So I was in New York. He lives all the way in Maryland, DMV area. And he was just like, hey, like, are you in town? Like, I'll come through. So he drove up to New York. I was staying at Red's place in Brooklyn. So he drove to Brooklyn. We met up at his friend's place, Jay, who was like the plug on like just a whole bunch of just artists out of Brooklyn or just New York in general. So literally Kadeem met me there at his place. The guy had like a literally a penthouse, and I was just like, it was like only $3,000 to live there. And like, it was like glass windows all over. I was just like, damn, this guy sells coke for sure, dude. But no, I don't think so. But this is great because like just at that house, I met like 5 different like dudes that either make music or like actual artists. Like, it was crazy. And then Kadeem, after that, like she drove us to another friend's place that owned a studio named Simon. He goes by the handle Simon Says. And yeah, we just made it. We made a track that night too. Like, it was a crazy ass day. Like, I remember thinking like it was so nice of him to just like come meet me, drive me around, introduce me to people. Yeah, it was super dope. Yeah, that's such a great time. Yeah.
I forget. I can't remember his full name, but shout out to him.
Kadeem Lamar. I remember.
Shout out to Kadeem Lamar, man. Yeah. All right. Well, we made it to the concluding portion of the podcast. Just got a few final questions for you. This first one is actually, what would you like to ask the next guest? I'm trying to find a way to connect my guests together. This is one of the ways. So yeah, what would be your question for the next guest that comes on?
What are you having for dinner?
All right. Hey, it could just be that simple. It's all good. What would you like for dinner? Or what are you having for dinner?
Yeah, what are you having for dinner?
For sure. The second question is actually a question from my previous guest for you. And if we were in a world with no worries, what would you be doing?
Making music.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
24/7, just like doing your
Banging
thing.
it out, doing something with music. Yeah. I don't know.
Nah, I feel you, man. I'd probably be talking to people one-on-one if in my case.
Yeah.
But and my last question.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. Sometimes when, like for example, if no one's home, like for example, Dan's out of town or Valeria's out of town, like I could literally just sit here and just like bang out tracks all day, like that. So if I could imagine a time, I don't have any worries. Like that's literally what I would do. So yeah. Anyways.
Damn, like, so for you, that zone is just like, I could just be sitting down and doing your thing like the whole day.
And get really weird. You know what I mean? Like just because you have no one to worry about, like someone to like, oh hey, wait, you still inside? You're still alive? You know what I mean? So kind of just like really get weird and then just create stuff. So yeah.
Well, I just want to ask about like, what kind of feeling do you get from making music?
I think completion, not completion. Oh, what's a better word? It's like satisfying. Like it scratches an itch for me, definitely. Like I said, like, I've spent so much time at this craft. It's like, you're to a point where it's like, well, you got to commit now. Like you've been doing this for a while, like might as well just like keep going at it. You know what I mean? Like how do you, just to keep pouring, fuel into the flame to keep it going. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my thought, and I enjoy it. Like it's one of the main things I've had over the past few years out of all the hobbies I've had that have been most consistent, and then ones that actually affect, or like I actually look forward to it. Say like I haven't gotten tired of it. You know what I mean? Like it's always in the back of my head no matter what. So
yeah. I know what you're talking about. And my last question for you, man, is what would you like your descendants to know about you? Like, generations down the road, your great grandchildren. What would you like them to know about you?
Do you, baby?
Sweet and simple, man.
Sweet and simple, man. Just do you. Shit, dude.
Well, what's it mean to do you?
Yeah, don't let anyone, don't live someone else's life. Just live your life. Yeah, and it'll work out eventually.
For sure. Well, thank you again for coming on. Want to thank the folks out there for listening. Appreciate your time as well. Any last things, Jarrad? Or are you good?
Nothing really. Nice catching up with you too, Jan. Like I said, great to kill two birds, one stone. It's like, what better way to catch up and also make content out of it. So
no doubt, man. No doubt. What's it called? But yeah, still trying to figure out my signature, piece or whatever. But